Thank you, Dr. Penny, for a great semester. A lot of great takeaways, but I'm going to give my top three based off the ones I felt will help me improve most as a person and as a leader. The first one is understanding that people are squishy. Something that Dr. Penny referred to at the beginning of the semester, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since. It's important to realize that people communicate, express emotions, and interpret interactions in different ways, whether it's through text, voice, or other forms. And in the past, I wasn't naturally empathetic or sympathetic. My personality leaned more towards being direct, being straightforward, and expecting others to understand me exactly as I intended. I've learned that this approach doesn't always work. And even if you don't personally care much about feelings, taking the time to understand others' emotions, personalities, communication styles leads to better outcomes. As a head baseball coach, I've realized that leadership depends on how effectively you communicate your vision and process to your team, but also how you communicate with your team. Building a program starts with building strong relationships with the people in it. And through this course, I've made a conscious effort to understand each player individually using that slow brain processing, that slow brain thinking, stepping back, processing things before responding, and adjusting how I communicate based on what works best for the individual. This includes understanding how they tick, right? How they handle their emotions, what communication style suits them, and how to navigate their concerns in a way that fosters mutual understanding. For example, one player, an extremely hardworking, dependable young man, had limited playing time this season. He approached me upset and angry. And in the past, I might have gotten defensive and simply justified my decision without further discussion. Instead, I chose to take a different route and I listened. I gave him space to speak, acknowledged his feelings. I showed empathy and explained the reasoning behind his role. I then also offered feedback, reassured him of my belief in him, and discussed ways in which he could grow into the position he aspired to get to. He came to me angry, left feeling relaxed, motivated, and supportive, and he verbally expressed that. Now, given the situation and how it's played out, and the things that I've learned through the course, I'm specifically focused on being empathetic in my interactions, putting myself in others' shoes to understand their perspective, and slowing down my responses to ensure I'm communicating thoughtfully and effectively. Takeaway number two, the most important for me, talk less, listen more. In the past, I was easily distracted and found myself multitasking, rarely giving people my full attention, unless I was actively seeking advice or feedback. And this habit of partial listening led frustration amongst my friends and family and caused me to miss important details in conversations. And most importantly, it gave others the impressions that I wasn't interested or I didn't care about what they had to say. And I think that's something that stick with me more than anything. The lack of presence portrayed a lack of interest and caused disconnection at times with my friendships. Following this course, I'm now making a conscious effort to focus on one thing at a time, especially when I'm interacting with others. While I do still struggle with multitasking during solo work or routine tasks, I've prioritized giving people my full attention. If someone is speaking to me, I intentionally put my phone down, stop what I'm doing, and I'm ensuring that they feel heard and valued. I'm listening, I'm not just hearing. And that's become a key part of how I show respect and build stronger, more connections that are meaningful. Last but not least, I've been focused on using slow brain processing and instead of relying on fast reactive thinking in both personal and interpersonal situations. This is something I lacked in the past. I've often responded with quick knee jerk reactions rather than taking time to pause and think things through. And over time, I've realized the value of slowing down, especially when faced with challenges or misunderstandings. For example, there's a department within my company that consistently misunderstands, misinterprets the requests that I make on behalf of my clients. And when things come back incorrectly, my natural reaction used to be frustration and pushing back immediately. Now, instead of reacting emotionally, I try to take a step back, assess the situation more collaboratively, more objectively, and identify where communication breakdown is happening. And as a result of that, the approach has led to more productive conversations and better outcomes. Thank you again for a great semester, and I wish you all the best.